September is well underway, and it is now time that we are going to lock in on our goals and our plans that we have for the month. So in my last video, I did my plan with me for the month of September. I showed you how I downloaded Notion for the first time and walked you through how I set mine up. I am going to be using Notion again in this video, but it was, part of my goals of getting more on routine and more into tracking was using the Notion feature. But for this month, I really want to show you my musts, my non-negotiables, and also my favorites for the month of September. So we're going to go a little bit deeper into it. How do I really work on some of my goals? How do I track them? How do I stay on focus? And of course, I want to share with you some products and mindset or people that I have been loving on for this month. So I'm going to pull up my Notion once again so you can see what I see, and we are going to lock in to have a fabulous September. All right, so we are back in my Notion, and I'm excited to say that it's been, about a week now, and I've still been using it. I've been using the app on my phone. I've been using my computer. I've been remembering to go in and log things. So super excited, because sometimes, raise your hand if you're like me, where you can get a new journal, a new planner, a new notebook even, and you have really good intentions of sticking with it, and then you just don't. So I'm excited that I'm still sticking with it, and I'm determined to keep it up in September. But this is my monthly goals that I was looking at. And okay, so we have in here the sections of what I want to do more of, what I want to do less of, and this is what I really work off of when I'm going into my musts and my non-negotiables. And then I have my word of the month, and I'm going to share with you how I incorporate using my word of the month and what I do for that. And then, like I said, we have our 5 different pillars that I have for my different goals. And then I also have a spot for my monthly wins, and you can see that I have gone in and updated my monthly wins. So very excited about that. Then I'm going to take you over into my monthly must page. And like I said in my first video, I'm working off some templates from Jenna. I have her YouTube, once again, will be linked in this description box. I talked about her a little bit more in my first video as well, that she has these free templates that you can download on Notion, which I thought was just so epic and amazing. So that's what I've been working off of. But I thought I would still be able to show you. You can see at the top here how she has my routines and the graphic here. So that is what we make in Canva. So you can see she also gave us Canva templates as well to work with. So you can see she has my routines. So once again, just to make this page a little bit more my own, I'm gonna go through and put in photos that kind of make sense to what I want the focus to be, because you can always go in and change these out too. But I definitely have a skincare focus this month, so I want to include that. I have a focus on reading, routines, planning, that sort of thing. So I thought this would be a cute photo. Of course, we have some more traveling at the time that I'm filming. I just got back yesterday from a quick trip as well, so wanted to include some travel. I think I'll cut it a little bit more to there. And then again, planning routines, staying on it is really important to me as well. So I thought this would be cute. And again, we're going to try to play around with where to put that particular photo. So we'll download that. And coming over into Notion, and you can change the cover and then upload your own. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We can still see my routines. So I put in the heading for here, monthly must. I put plus non-negotiables and my favorites all month long. And I said, keeping these little lists each month help me stay grounded and intentional. My musts remind me of the habits and priorities that matter the most and include products I want to incorporate regularly. My favorites are my standout products from the month that I recommend, that I love using. And my non-negotiables keep me accountable to the boundaries and practices that protect my energy. And I feel like I need something else. Protect my energy and keep me at my best self. Let's say that. Okay. So then I have little lists here for my monthly musts, my non-negotiables, and my monthly favorites. So I do want to change out these photos as well and make them a little bit more my own. So for my monthly must, I'm actually going to put in a little quote here. It says healthy body, healthy mind, healthy soul, because that is something that I'm really focusing on. For my non-negotiables, and I just always get all of my images from Pinterest. So I kind of been feeling I feel like, oh wait, this might be good under monthly favorites actually. I am the love of my own life. I just felt like that was so cute. Actually, I'm kind of vibing with that. We're gonna keep that under non-negotiables. And then for monthly favorites, I'm gonna add in, this just like looks cute in fall, right? And like we can say it's like a little chai, a little croissant. I think that's really cute. So you can pull your photos over from Pinterest to do that. But I wanted to be able to switch back and forth. So this is my 2025 Notion at a glance. This is what we were working on last time, a little vision board in here. I kind of want to make a vision board for the rest of the year. Like kind of have it focused on that, you know, because I feel like once we get to September, October, we're kind of locking in for the rest of the year. And I kind of want a vision board that signifies that. And so I can put it into Notion. If you guys want to do that, like build a vision board together, we can do a video on it. That could be something that's fun. But if I click on monthly goals, so again, this is the page that I was just showing you before, more, less, word of the month, and then our goals, right? Then I have like my little August recap here on the bottom. But this is where I want to take what I put in here and go a little bit deeper. But what I was saying in the first one is sometimes you have to break it down really small. So I don't want to take every single thing that I put and then put it into my musts and my non-negotiables, right? I want to take some of the ones that are most important to me and focus on those. So again, as I look at my Notion, I think one of the most important things to me and one of my monthly musts is actually using Notion, actually keeping up with this, actually going into it every single day, whether it be the app on my phone, whether it be opening my computer and just always having it up, always being able to look at it, glance at it, whether I want to go into like my monthly budget that I have on the side here, whether I want to go into my weekly to-do list, whether I want to go into my 2025, my thought dumps, my monthly planning, my yearly planning, my work planning, anything like that. But every single day, like go into daily is a monthly must for me. So that is something that I really want to make sure that I get into a routine and I get into a habit of. I was talking about in the first video that one thing that is really important to me in the month of September is getting back into routines. I moved recently, I'm on the go a lot, I travel a lot, and I need to find good routines because one thing that I think is really easy when you're kind of having a lot of different change in life or you're traveling a lot or anything like that is that it's very easy to say like for me with traveling, it's easy for me to be like, oh, I'm traveling, so I'm just not in my routine right now. Not acceptable. How do I find routines that work for when I'm traveling like this? What is it that I do? And one thing can be opening my Notion every single day, looking at it, my lists, my goals, and just what I've kind of noticed with opening Notion every day and looking at it is that it's almost making me feel a little bit calmer. I feel like getting back into those routines is making my anxious brain and my ADHD feel a little bit calmer. I think for a minute I felt so scattered and so all over the place and so unsure of myself, and now it's like I can have just a few minutes every day to open this and think, okay, here's everything at a glance. Here's my goals, my to-do lists, my due dates for, you know, my different bills, like everything is right here. These are all of my reminders. So actually using Notion, going into it daily is definitely a must. Going over to a non-negotiable, so one thing that I put in my less was screen time. This was something that was really important to me. So one of my non-negotiables is cutting screen time. And I wanted to go a little bit deeper into this as well because I don't want this video to just be like a repeat of the first video, right? But let's go a little bit deeper. That's the point of this month. First video, we kind of have an overlay, you know, kind of at a glance, and that's good. Second video, we go deeper. How do we lock in? Why do we lock in? What's our purpose? That sort of thing. So when I'm thinking about cutting screen time and I'm thinking about doing a digital detox once a week is what I said in the first video. Why? Okay, so why are you doing this? Why I'm going in to use Notion every single day. Why? Because it makes me feel calmer and it makes me feel more on my routine. Now I'm cutting screen time. Why? So whatever goals it is that you're writing down, whatever you're putting into your must, into your non-negotiables, follow that up with your why, right? So when I'm thinking about this, one thing that I've really noticed with being on my phone so much, being on social media so much, again, I work full-time in social media, But one thing that I have found that is becoming like increasingly dangerous to me is every time I go on my phone, something catches my eye. A way someone edits their videos, products that they're using, even when it comes to editing, fonts that they're using, jump cuts that they're doing, equipment that people have. And one thing that I think being on my phone so much is doing is taking away my own creativity. Not only is it a time suck, I'll go on my phone because I'm like, oh, I need to look at something. And then 20 minutes goes by and I've just been scrolling TikTok and I've been saving. You should see my folder of saved videos of like, oh, I like the way this editing is. Oh, I like what she said in there. Oh, I should follow up about this. Oh, I like that makeup product that she used. But it's taking away my own creativity, and it's making, I feel like it's getting harder and harder to figure out who I am and my own voice and how I show up online, because I'm so infiltrated by so many different things that I see. And I get very overwhelmed because then I go to post a video on my Instagram or my YouTube and I'm like, I should do it this way, but then this way, but then that way, and then I should put this in. And I feel very overstimulated. And again, as someone who feels a little knocked out of her routine, to then also on top of that feel overstimulated is a lot going on. It's a lot for my brain. It's a lot for my anxiety. So I need to find ways to calm myself and to calm my anxiety. And cutting screen time and cutting all of the noise and all of the ways I could do this, I could be like this, I could look like this, I could put this over here, that needs to quiet down. I need to pick out my favorites who like really do inspire me or who I want to come back to and stick with them and not try to be someone different every single day, right? It's very, very overwhelming. So that is a big non-negotiable for me, is cutting screen time. And then looking at all of my different pillars, what I had under here, under the health category, I did have on a mammogram follow-up. And this to me is definitely in the non-negotiable. So mammogram, and then also, health-wise, I get a mammogram and an ultrasound every 6 months. And this month we're also doing an MRI. And that is extremely important to me. It is important to me to make those appointments, to go to those appointments, and to do any follow-ups, any lab work, any further imaging, anything like that that needs to be done. This is very important to me. So for me, I know this is a little bit more personal. This won't relate to everybody, but that's one thing that I want to say to you is, what is something that you have put off that should be in your non-negotiable category? Is it something health related? Is it an appointment? Maybe it's not for you. Maybe you help your mom. Maybe you help your partner. Maybe you help a sister or a friend. Maybe you take them to their appointments or you make their appointments, or anything health-wise. Though this should always be something under a non-negotiable to me. Again, it's not going to be every single month. I don't need a mammogram or a follow-up, but you can take a few moments and think about your schedule and think about, oh, it's been a while since I've had an eye exam or whatever it is, or maybe I need to stock up on certain medicine in the house or supplements or something like that. What can you put in here that is a non-negotiable for your health? That is what I want this focus to be on for you. Then we're gonna move over to monthly favorites. And these are, again, these can be actual physical products. These can be people that inspire you, books that you've read, podcasts that you've listened to, anything that just really kind of floats your boat at this moment. And I know I feel like I've kind of went hard on the paint right when we first started. So let's just do something really chill. And I'm gonna put, a favorite is press-on nails. So I recently started my press-on nail journey and I am not mad about it. I was always so unsure about press-on nails because when I've tried them in the past, I feel like they just fell off right away. I give an example of I would just think about doing the dishes and my nails would fall off and I'm like, what the heck? And now they're so good. I will say I really like the brand Glamnetic. That is the glue I use and mostly the nails that I use. And some of these, okay, my pinkies, I'm gonna show you here. This one still has the nail on. This, my nail actually broke, but the actual, on my nail is still hanging on, which is hilarious to me. These have been on for almost 2 months. It has been almost 2 months, and these pinky nails, even though the one, the actual tip broke off, the nail is still on my nail. These are my original nails that I put on for the first time 2 months ago, and the Glamnetic glue is just no joke. It is staying on, but I will say it cost me $100 every time to go to the nail salon, which I understand. And I'm paying my nail tech for her time and her expertise and the value that she brings to the nail appointment. But at a certain point, my nails kept breaking, and it was like every 2 weeks, my nails were breaking and I was having to go in, and I'm like, I can't spend $200 a month on my nails. Like that is just, that's getting out of my budget for nails. So I thought I'm just gonna try press-ons. They're like $15. Once you buy the glue, you have the glue for a long time. But listen, this has been a game changer for me. So I do have an Amazon storefront if you're ever interested in anything that I've been buying recently, favorites. I have a bunch of different idea lists over there, from clothes to makeup to skincare. And then of course I have the Glamnetic nails on there too. All right, another monthly must. So I have hair oil ×2 down here. And so this is something that I still want to keep in my monthly must, is my hair oil ×2. And then I can also put in here if I've done it. So complete it week 1. So the first week of September, I did hair oil, and I'm very proud of that, but that is a must for me. And sometimes, I think sometimes it can be seen as like, repetition can be seen as like a negative thing. And for me, I also run a beauty YouTube channel. It's been my main YouTube channel for 10 years now. And I sometimes still, over the years, I see comments of people saying like, you say that you love the same things. Like when you do favorites videos, you always talk about the same products. And I'm like, yes, because they're my favorites. I don't understand why I have to have a new favorite lipstick every single month. Why do I have to have a new favorite eyeshadow palette every 2 weeks? Like, your favorites are your favorites for a reason, right? And so to me, they should continually be the same. When you have goals that you're working on, you should have, like, I don't want all of my monthly musts and my non-negotiables to be completely different from what I put in my overview for the month. Why would they be different? Because these are what I'm focusing on. If I give myself 5 goals and then I come over to my monthly must and I make 5 completely new things, how does that work together? Repetition is not the enemy here, and repetition is how you get things done. Repetition is how you get into routines. Repetition is how you get into habit stacking. Repetition is not the enemy here. I think it's actually like what we should be like striving for, right? So even though I have hair oil ×2 over here, I'm gonna put, this is a monthly must for me. It's a hair, and I can, once I put complete it week 1, I can come back to say when I complete this again. I'm getting ready, I'm gonna be gone for the next week. I probably won't be able to hair oil, but at least week 3 or week 4, I hope I can come in here and check it off of my monthly must. And then same thing around there, I had getting a hydrofacial. And so I wanna go a little bit deeper in here, but I wanna say a monthly must is to track my skincare. And you can do this a few different ways. You can use Notion and like make a calendar of it. I'm gonna tell you that I actually use ChatGPT to track my schedule for me. So I go into ChatGPT and I said, hey, this is my skincare schedule that I wanna do, because I started to use, how do I pronounce it? Adapalene? Wow, I was way off. Adapalene. So I've started using the La Roche-Posay Adapalene, which kind of gets compared to like a retinol, but it is supposed to be used as like an acne treatment, but it can be pretty intense sometimes. I think you used to have to be able to get it by prescription, but now you can get it, you know, in certain products, like the one that I bought from La Roche-Posay. I will link it. But one thing that I, read beforehand with it is similar to when I was on a retinol journey as well, is like using a moisturizer beforehand, then using the Adapalene, and then using a moisturizer after it, and kind of building your skin up to that. And then once you've kind of hit that mark, then you can maybe take away the before or after moisturizer, then you can eventually just go to using the Adapalene, right? But it's also, you don't want to use it back-to-back nights. You don't want to use it 4 nights a week right away, because it could really flare up your skin, cause a lot of irritation and dryness. And so I wanted something to be able to help me, okay, this night, this is what I did. This night, this is what I did. So when I first started on my journey, I told ChatGPT, this is what I want to do. I just want help tracking it. That's great. So the first night that I used it, I said, use the Adapalene with the moisturizer before and after, and then confirmed the rest of my skincare schedule. So the second night I didn't, I just used like a barrier cream. And then I also have in days where it's like, oh, this is a good day to do exfoliation, whether like doing something like dermaplaning, shaving my face, or using something like the First Aid Beauty facial radiance pads, and also making sure that I have a day where I do a lot of hydration and I focus on like maybe a collagen mask like from Peach and Lily that I really love, or Peach Slices has like this jelly mask that I really enjoy, but doing something like that, right? So I have something set in place where I can track my skincare, and I can go into it every night or every couple days to say, hey, this is what I've done recently. It can track it for me. That way, if I get confused and I'm like, wait, did I use Adaptoline last night or 2 nights ago? I can't remember. I can go back in and see. So tracking my skincare is very important to me as well. Howdy. I hope that you're in that one.
I try to be quick.
You're so funny. So another non-negotiable, one thing that I talked about was wanting to read for fun more, because I read a lot of books for my blog. I read a lot of books to be able to review for the authors on Amazon, to do video reviews on TikTok. I really want to read for fun, read more nonfiction books that really inspire me. If you can't tell, I'm always looking to consume things that will inspire me or motivate me, while still having the balance of not getting too sucked in of like turning into someone else, right? So that's something that's very important to me. But one of my non-negotiables, and this is where I kind of kind of stack my different habits or stack my different goals, is reading at night and reading a book that I want to read. So right now I'm reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and it's for our book club. And I love that because it's, even though like it's for a book club, it's not for a book review. I don't have someone waiting on me. I don't have a publishing house or an author waiting on that review and like, has that gone up on Amazon yet, and things like that. And it's a physical book, and I really want to read more physical copies at night, and just kind of getting away from like being on devices so much, cutting away blue light at night as well. But another part of that, and like going even deeper, is going back to my whole, kind of overlook of September, of getting back into my routines. This helps me get into a night routine. This helps me get into like, this is where I start to shut down a little bit, shut my brain down a little bit more. And it kind of signifies to my whole body of like, okay, now you're getting into a state of rest. And it can really actually help the quality of the sleep that you get, unless you're like, go, 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 you're on your phone so much, you're over here, you're over there, and then you just fall into bed and you like expect to fall asleep right away, or you expect to stay asleep and have good quality sleep when you've just been still so stimulated all the way up into it. But if you can ease in to your night routine, this is something years ago that I realized was so important to me. And if there's one thing that I can do, if I'm at a place where I can light a candle, but if I can at least have my book with me, open my book, read a few chapters, it's reading for fun, and it's setting me up for a good night routine. So non-negotiable for me in September is reading at night. Okay, let's go into another monthly favorite. Like I said, these don't have to be all product wise, but this one is kind of like a double whammy as well. It's that football is back. I'm a huge football fan. I'm a big Green Bay Packer fan, but I love football. I could literally just sit on a Sunday and watch games all day long. Like, yes, work on my phone and like do all these other things and but like just watching the games makes me so happy. But one reason I love it too is I have so many friends around me that, like my best friends that are around me. You might have just seen Ashley coming down the stairs a few minutes ago again, but they love football too. And to me, football equals quality time with friends and family, which is another big thing that I had as, one of my goals for the month of September. So for me, when I think about football, I always flash back to being a little kid of like, on Sundays, we would have friends and family over. We would watch games together. The Super Bowl, always such a big deal. As I got older, that's what we did with our friends. We would get together for playoff games, and again for the Super Bowl, and everyone would bring food, and we would have the Squares betting board and all of these things. So that football season is back. I get a little excited because I think, oh, I get to hang out on Sundays with my friends. Oh, I get to get together with 10 of my friends. We had 10 people here the other day to do our fantasy football draft. Out of a 12-person league, 10 people came in. People flew in to be here. Like, how fun is that? I get to go to games with the, people that are important to me in my life and make those memories. How fun is that? So to me, football being back is like, yes, I love the sport, but I love even more what it signifies, and it's quality time with my friends and family. And I'm sorry, I also got this sweatshirt and I'm just living for it. I got this off of TikTok Shop, and it's just a giant block of cheese to signify Green Bay. Oh, I am ready. Okay, along those lines, so let's jump over to monthly musts, and it is every week reaching out to family. Every week to reach out to someone in my family, to text my brother, to call my mom, to check in with my sister, to just send a quick text message to a niece or a nephew. Hope your day goes well, hope your week goes well, you know, anything, something like that. But at least every single week reaching out to one or multiple people in my family. Hi, hello, I'm thinking of you. How are you doing? If something is coming up for them, a milestone or just something that I know of. But every single week, this is so important to me. And again, I can use this as a tracker to try to remember, like, okay, last month I talked to my brother. 2 days ago, I called my mom on the phone. Anything like that, so important. A non-negotiable that I'm really excited to get into is my journal prompts. And my journal prompts are going to be all around my word of the month. So my word of the month, if I show you what I did last month, my word of the month is push. And I said my word of the month was push for like push myself past the uncomfortable, push myself past hard situations. I talked in last month's video about realizing when things get hard, I very quickly want to take the easy way out. Like, oh, this video is going to take me longer to do. Let me just do this quick video first because it's faster. I can get it up quicker. And I think I've kind of moved over to this more like quantity over quality, and I want to get back to quality over quantity. And that comes with so many different things in life, right? But I am really big on journal prompts. And if you've ever done, I'm going to make this section down here be my monthly journal prompts. So I wanted to create 4. And I want to encourage you, whatever your word of the month is, create 4 journal prompts around that word. And every week when you do your reflection, your goal planning, however it is that you work it into your routine, add in this journal prompt. This was one of my favorite parts when I did healthy habits challenges and community challenges. The journal prompts was one of my favorite things that we did. So for the first one, it's what's one area of my life where I've been staying comfortable? And how would pushing past that comfort zone help me grow? Okay, so that's one. Another one, I put when I feel resistance to a task, goal, or change, what thoughts or fears usually come up? Because that's a big way to sit with yourself. And how can I reframe them to keep moving forward? It's a big thing when you actually sit and reflect of what fears come up for you in different areas. That's one I'm a little nervous about, I'm not gonna lie to you. But another one I did was, where do I feel out of alignment right now? And what's one small push I can make this week to bring my actions closer to my values? The last one I put, how can I balance pushing myself toward my goal while still honoring my boundaries? Because to me, one thing I definitely struggle with is boundaries, especially with my online presence. So those are my journal prompts. That's kind of how I can have my weekly reflection and check in with myself and check in with my goals and check in, because I think it's great to pick a word of the month, but sometimes, because I've done this in the past, like you pick a word of the month and then that's just it. You think about it for the first few days and then you're done. So this is every week to have your time to reflect and to have like your you time. The journal prompts are what can bring you back to your word of the month so it doesn't just fall to the wayside. Let's go back into a favorite. So I just got the Rare Beauty perfume. My close personal friend, Selena Gomez, sent me over this from Rare Beauty, and this smells so good. I picked out 2 fragrances. I do a shop my stash video on my main beauty channel, and I picked out the Fleur like cherry perfume because it's kind of like, I feel like cherry is like a cool vibe for a fall fragrance because it's like a little bit different. But then this one from Rare Beauty is more of like your traditional fall. Like it's a little cozy, it's a little spicy, it's a little caramelly. And I just feel like for a fall scent, I'm going to love the Rare Beauty perfume. Okay. And then another monthly favorite that I have is Rocking my natural hair. Which I'm not right now, not at this current moment, I'm not, but I'm trying to get back into, or I don't even know if I want to say back into, but I just want to take some heat off of my hair, literally. Like, I want to use less heat on my hair. I want to even use like less products in my hair and always worry about like product buildup and using my clarifying shampoo and cleaning my scalp and all of these things. Like, they're all still good things to do, but I just feel like I use so much product in my hair and then I'm blow drying, then I'm curling, and it just, I'm like, so I'm trying to get back into my natural hair, which is a little bit more on the wavy side. I wouldn't necessarily say curly, but I sometimes feel like it gets a little too like frizzy or out of control for me. So I'm trying to find like the best products to be able to use. So if you have any recommendations, I would definitely love to know. But it takes like less time, it's less hassle. I know it's healthier for my hair. I've been on a hair journey for many years, but rocking my natural hair is definitely gonna be a monthly favorite. And then we are gonna wrap it up with our weekly musts, and we're tying this all back together because, again, repetition is not the enemy here. But another must that I put is having my weekly reflection and typing out my monthly wins as well. So my weekly reflection, we're going back to my non-negotiable, which is my journal prompt and my word of the month. And then also making sure that I stick with doing my monthly wins. So you can see I already have some here. So I put down that my monthly wins was the first week in September. I hair oiled, I got a massage, and I also kept up with my skincare tracker. All things that I've already put on my list, all things that I consider wins because I've done them. I also booked the Halloween venue for my event planning company. I had that under my professional one right here. So my Halloween party venue has been booked. Everyone knows where it's at. Very excited for that. That's happening in October. If you're a content creator and want to go to a Halloween party in Austin, Texas, holler at me. And then another monthly win is I did go to LA with TikTok Shop this month. So I'd put that, I said LA trip, and I didn't say the brand in the last video, but it was with TikTok Shop. I was super excited to be invited. TikTok Shop has definitely been a great, other source of income as my career as a full-time content creator. So being able to just take a quick 45-minute flight over to LA, spend the day in LA with TikTok Shop, with some brands, getting to film over there, meeting some new creators and brand reps, was a really cool day for me. So that is definitely a part of my monthly must, is keeping up with my monthly wins and also my weekly reflection. And then the final non-negotiable, again, kind of working off of here, like I put under health, the cool down and stretching routine. This needs to be a non-negotiable for me. Repetition is not the enemy. It is what makes us stay on top of things. It is what makes us get our goals done. So having, and again, just the way that I talked about reading at night helps me with my night routine, stretching and icing as a part of my morning routine. That's what helps me in the morning. I have a pretty solid morning routine no matter where I am. When I was in India, I was waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was going out and walking 4 miles. That is what I did. That is a non-negotiable to me, is my walks. I've done a whole video on what I wish I knew before walking 10,000 steps a day. I typically walk closer to 15,000 steps a day. It's a non-negotiable. To me, it's a part of my lifestyle. I don't need to write it down anymore because it's becoming just, it's part of my lifestyle, right? But I have started to have some pain in my right knee. It's actually happened for years now, but I'm trying to do something about it. And I've realized I've gotten away from stretching, and icing my knees really, really helps me. So in the morning, I go out, I walk typically 5 miles in the morning. I come back, and before I do anything else, before I shower, before I open my computer, anything, I get on the floor, I stretch, I listen to a podcast at the same time. So it kind of like keeps me interested, keeps me motivated. I put my legs in the air for at least 5 minutes to help with blood flow. And then I get my ice packs out, I sit on the couch, and I either read or I start to do work on my phone, comments, video editing, things like that. But I sit there with those ice packs, and it's become a part of my morning routine. Repetition every single day. And that is what I do. So that is a non-negotiable for me because I'm trying to prevent any future problems that we might have. And then my last monthly favorite that I want to share is the Inspired Media podcast. Okay, so I'll just pull it up here real quick so you can see it on the screen. But the Inspired Media podcast, this is run by Alyssa. I found her on TikTok, and I feel like she's just had again, when it comes to finding people that I follow for inspiration when it comes to being a creator, I really like a lot of her videos because she talks about unselfish content. And I think I came up as a content creator in a very selfish time. And I don't say that in a bad way, but when social media was first really becoming a thing, we really were getting to know creators because they would share their morning routines. They would share what they make their kids for lunch. They would share their night routine. And now we're kind of feeling this shift and we're trying to figure out how to make it unselfish content so that people who are watching are inspired and motivated by it and not just like bored of like, okay, that's your day in the life. Like, how does this impact me at all? And so I felt like a lot of her videos that I was seeing on TikTok actually inspired me so much that when I heard her say that she had a podcast, and I heard her say it a couple of times because it wasn't the first time she said it, I didn't immediately go run to see her podcast. It took a couple of times. And then when I heard it again, I was like, you know what? And so I downloaded a few episodes and I feel like they really inspire me and they really make me think differently. They make me think about my content differently. And I really very much appreciate that. So that was something that I wanted to put in my monthly favorite is the Inspired Media podcast. And also just along those lines mention, again, going back to people being repetitive, if Alyssa had mentioned one time that she had a podcast, one, I could have just not seen that video. That video could have not popped up for me. You know, I don't typically seek out people's videos unless there's something really specific I'm looking for. I just kind of go through what gets shown to me, and especially people I follow, I hope that the algorithm will show me that, right? But if she had just mentioned it one time and never again, I could have missed it. Or again, I heard her say it, but I wasn't around, like at the time I wasn't able to like download her podcast or look it up. But because she said it again and then again, I was like, oh, let me go check that out. So sometimes again, I hear people say like, oh, you already mentioned that favorite, or you mentioned that goal, or you mentioned that thing. Okay, well, just because you heard it one time, maybe it didn't resonate with you. Maybe you didn't hear it the first time, or maybe it resonated with you and you heard it the first time, but another person listening didn't. They didn't hear it the first time. This is the first video that they've ever watched from me. So even though I'm saying some of the things that I said in the first video, they don't know because they didn't see it, but also maybe they heard it and now they're hearing it again and they're like, wait, maybe I should look more into that. Maybe I should think about this a little bit more. I give the example. It is something that I say so often is sometimes we have to hear things over and over and over again for it to finally stick with us. For us to finally like, oh, let me check that out. Let me look that up. Let me try it this way. I listened to podcasts from female business owners talk about how important their morning routine was for them for a whole year before I got serious about finding my morning routine. Finally, something clicked one day and I was like, man, I really hear everyone keep talking about their morning routine. Maybe I should try it out. It took a year of hearing the same thing every time I opened my podcast. I would hear about a morning routine. I still didn't do anything about it. Until finally that 100th time that I heard it, I thought maybe let's do something about it. So repetition, not the enemy, and I'm really enjoying the Inspired Media podcast. So that's a little overview, my monthly musts, my non-negotiables for September, and my monthly favorites that I'm bringing into the month, and also my journal prompts that I am very proud of so I can have my monthly or my weekly reflection for the month. So I hope this motivates you a little bit more to lock in for September, to plan your goals. Let me know once again, what is your word of the month? What are some of your goals that you are striving to achieve? I would love to know. I hope you have an amazing September, and I'll see you in the next one.